going nowhere, top packed in the trunk. Somewhere around my once well, probably started humming the front. I got a chance in my bones before we know you were singing that melody. Stop the car, pull out the guitar, halfway to New Orleans, said take me home, take me home. When we realized we had nothing to do, it's just me and my dad and a kid named Jay, making music that nobody could hear. And the sun lit up and it's with the night, slipping over on Jubilee. 10,000 cars by the side of the road, doing bars the eyes can't see. Said take me home, take me home. Said take me home, take me home. This greyhound is tilted down on a baby board I finally found. Said this greyhound is tilted bound, mama. Baby boy don't finally found his way home, home, home. Take me home, home. How damn should have found the groove like I was swimming in a sea of soul. The sun was rising and the day was hot, and we're all about to lose control. But then I turned the face up and toward the sky, and I knew that there was nothing to lose. Let the crowd breathe in and I closed my eyes, and we disappeared to the groove. Said take me home, take me home. Said take me home, take me home. From the water, straight from the water, children, straight from the water, straight from the water, children, straight from the water. You don't know nothing about this, take me.
I'm not a member of the family. I was the king's bodyguard.
And I was his valet. His personal assistant.
Set your cell phones to silent or just turn them off completely. When King Hamlet died...
Was murdered.
When King Hamlet was murdered, his brother Claudius took charge. So, I became the bodyguard of King Claudius.
And I became the king's valet. His personal assistant.
Traditionally, when a king dies, his son would take charge. King Hamlet did have a son.
The son's name was Hamlet also.
Yes, the son was named for the father. King Hamlet and Prince Hamlet. That's him sleeping in the luggage rack.
Let him sleep. Poor kid.
Our house band, ladies and gentlemen, the Summer January and Friends.
Prince Hamlet was away at school when his father was murdered, so his brother took over.
Claudius took over the government.
Yes, and King Claudius took over the household.
Claudius?
King Claudius!
Yes, King Claudius. King Claudius even took his dead brother's wife as his own. They were married not long after the funeral.
I personally assisted the king with the arrangements.
And I guarded his body before, during, and after the wedding.
Prince Hamlet came back from school when his father was murdered.
He was there for the funeral.
He was there for the wedding.
As you might imagine, he had a lot in his mind.
So we weren't sure if we should tell him what we saw.
We aren't even exactly sure what we saw.
I am. I know what I saw. And so do you.
Maybe.
Not maybe.
Maybe we saw King Hamlet walking across the lawn of Elsinore. Weeks after he died, I mean.
Weeks after he was murdered.
It's where the story always starts.
You probably already know the story.
Everybody knows this story. To be or not to be. To thine own self be true.
We've been telling the story for over 400 years.
More films have been made about this story than any other story in history.
Except Cinderella.
Disney's The Lion King is based on this story.
It's the story of Hamlet told by a group of talking lions and hyenas and such. But of course, Disney gave it a happy ending.
Yeah?
So we thought we'd tell the story as if it took place in the 1920s. Why not?
It's timeless.
You already know how that story begins. Would you like to see how it ends?
Look.
Look.
Santa Teresa, Santa Ana, Santa Susanna, Santa Cecilia, Santa Copelia, Santa Domenica, Mary Angelica, Frater Ashen, Frater Pietro, Julianus Petronilla, Santa Santos Miroslav Vladimir, and all the rest.
Man is placed upon the steps, a baby cries, and high above the church bells start to ring. And oh, the heaviness, the body, oh, the heaviness. Somewhere you can hear a mother sing. And it's one foot and the other as you step up to the road. How much weight, how much weight. And it's how long and how far and how many times before it's too late. Calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one, don't leave me alone. Calling all angels, calling all angels, we're trying, we're hoping, and we're not sure how. And every day you gaze upon the sunset with such love and intensity. It's almost as if you could only crack the code, and you would finally understand what this all means. But if you think you could, do you think you would trade all the pain and suffering? Ah, but then you'd miss the beauty of love upon this earth and the sweetness of believing. this goes.
Francesco. Horatio.
Welcome, Marcellus. Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy. Therefore, I've entreated him to watch this night, that if again the apparition come, he may speak to it.
It won't appear.
Sit down a while, and let us again assail your ears with what we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down and let us hear Francesco speak of this.
Last night, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Look! It comes again!
In the same figure, like the king that's dead.
Speak to it, Horatio!
Looks it not like the king?
Most it harrows me with fear and wonder.
Question it, Horatio!
What art thou? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
'Tis offended.
See, it stalks away.
Say! I charge thee! Speak!
'Tis gone. And won't answer.
Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Isn't this something more than fantasy?
I might not believe it without the true voucher of mine own eyes,
Is it not like the king?
as thou art to thyself. Say! Speak to me! If thou hast any youthful voice, speak to me!
'Tis gone.
I was about to speak when the cock crew.
Let us impart what we have seen tonight unto Hamlet, for upon my life this spirit unto us will speak to him.
My nephew Hamlet and my son, tell me, how is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord, for I am too much in the sun.
Oh, my Hamlet, do not forever seek for thy father in the dust, for thou knowest all lives must die, passing from nature to eternity.
Aye, madam.
But 'tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give such mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father, his father lost his. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient. So I take it to heart. Let the world take note that you are most immediate to our throne. Your intent to go back to school in Wittenberg is retrograde to our desire. Remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye.
Stay with us, Hamlet. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you.
'Tis a loving and fair reply, madam. This gentle and unforced accord to Hamlet sits smiling in my heart. Come.
Oh, that too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. For that the everlasting does not fix his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God. God! How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. That it should come to this! Not dead 2 months. Nay, not so much. Not 2. So excellent a king that was it, so loving to my mother. Heaven and earth, must I remember? She would hang on him as if an increase of appetite had grown that which it fed on. And yet, within a month, frailty. My name is woman. A little month. Long before those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, tears. Was she even a beast would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I am to Hercules. Within a month, she married. Oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It cannot, nor will not come to good. But break my heart, or I must hold my tongue.
My lord.
Oh, I'm glad to see you well. The same. Oh, Horatio, I forget myself. I'm very glad to see you. But what brings you to Wittenberg?
I came to see your father's funeral.
Don't mock me. To see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats and so coldly furnished forth the marriage tables. Horatio, methinks I see my father.
Where?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
He was a good king.
He was a man. I shall not look upon his like again.
I think I saw him yesterday.
Who?
The king, your father.
The king, my father? For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together, Marcellus and Francesco have been thus encountered. A figure like your father appears before them and goes slow by them, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy in part they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch where the apparition comes. I knew your father.
Did you speak to it?
I did, but answer made it none.
Which is very strange. I want you to watch tonight. Oh, I would I had been there.
It wouldn't much amaze you.
I'll watch tonight. Perchance it walks again.
I warrant it will.
If it assumes my father's spirit, I'll speak to it. Though hell's shall gape and bid me hold my peace. Whatsoever shall happen tonight, give it understanding, with no tongue. Oh, my father's spirit in arms. All is not well, when the night would come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth should overwhelm them to men's eyes.
We should have told him about that thing we saw.
The ghost, or whatever it was. We weren't the only household workers who had concerns about Hamlet.
Not by a long shot. There was Polonius.
Polonius was the chief advisor of King Hamlet.
He kept the job after King Hamlet died. Was murdered.
It's not an easy job to walk away from, even when you think your new boss is a killer.
I don't see you turning in your resignation.
Or you. Polonius and his family lived here with us,
He had a son named Laertes.
and a daughter named Ophelia.
And Ophelia loved Hamlet.
And Hamlet loved Ophelia.
Do you wanna feel how it feels? Do you wanna know that it doesn't hurt me?
swap our places. You've run up that road, you've run up that hill, with no problems. If I only could deal with God, get to swap our places. You run up that road, you run up that hill, no problems. If I only could.
Farewell, Ophelia. And sister, let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet, the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, not permanent. Sweet, but not lasting.
No more but so.
Perhaps he loves you now, but you must fear his will is not his own, for he is subject to his birth. For on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. If he says he loves you, then weigh what loss your honor may sustain if you lose your heart or your chaste treasure to him. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection out of the danger of desire.
Shall the effect of this good lesson keep? But my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, while like a reckless libertine himself the path of dalliance treads.
Fear me not. I've stayed too long, but here our father comes.
Yet here, Laertes. For shame. Ah. There, my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thine memory see thou character. Thou friends thou hast, wrap them to thine soul with hoops of steel. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, bots being in, beareth that the opposed may be aware of thee. Lend every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thine judgment. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for a loan oft loses both itself and a friend. And borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true. Then it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell.
I take my leave.
Go.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key.
Farewell.
What is it he had said to you?
Something touching Hamlet.
He hath very often of late given private time to you, and you of your audience hath been most free and bounteous. What lies between you? Give me the truth.
He hath made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? And do you believe these tenders, as you call them?
I don't know what I should think. He hath importuned me with love in an honorable fashion,
Fashion, you may call it.
and hath given countenance to his speech with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Do not believe his vows. I would not, from this time forth, have you talk or give words with Hamlet.
I shall obey.
The air bites shrewdly. It is cold. What hour is it now?
Oh, it's 12.
Look! It comes! Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned! Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I shall speak to thee! I'll call thee Hamlet! King! Father, answer me!
It beckons you to go away with it alone.
But don't go with it.
No, by no means.
Who won't speak? I'll follow it.
Don't!
Why? What should be the fear that waved me forth? I'll follow it.
No! Be fooled, you shall not go!
My faith cries out, still I call! I'm like a ghost wind that lets me.
Let's follow.
There's something rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Let's follow him.
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak! I'll go no further!
Mock me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I too tormenting flames must render out myself.
Alas! Oh, poor ghost!
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak! I am bound to hear!
So art thou to revenge, when thou shalt hear?
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fasting fires, to the foul crimes that in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. If thou didst ever thy dear father's love, revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, so I may sweep to my revenge.
Hamlet, here, just giving out that. Laying in my orchard, a serpent stung me. But no, the serpent that did sting thy father's life, now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul! My uncle!
I, that adulterous beast, stole my seemingly virtuous queen. But brief, let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, and in my ear did pour the poison. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even the blossoms of my sin, sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. Fare thee well, Hamlet. Remember.
Remember thee! The poor ghost! Remember me! From the table of my memory, I'll erase all trivial records, all books, all precious past that youth and observation has copied there. My commandments all alone shall live within the book of my brain.
Hamlet!
What news?
It is an honest ghost. That let me tell you. For your matters to know what is between us. Over matters it is as you may. And good friends, I ask you one request.
What is it? We will.
Never make known what you've seen tonight.
We won't.
Swear it. Swear. Never speak of this that you've seen. Swear. Swear. Never speak of this that you've heard. Swear. Swear.
This is strange.
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, that are dreamt of in your philosophy. So grace and mercy, if you most need help you. Swear. Swear. Rest, rest, perturbed spirit. Time is out of joint, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Come, let's go together.
rebel girl, a blue-stocking suffragette who remedied society between her cigarettes. And Ophelia was the sweetheart to a nation overnight. Curvaceous thighs, vivacious eyes. Love was at first sight. Love was at first sight. Ophelia's mind went wandering, you wonder where she'd gone. Through secret doors, down corridors, she wandered them alone. All alone.
What's the matter?
I'm so frightened.
With what in the name of God?
Hamlet, with a look as if he'd been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors. He comes before me.
Not for thy love?
I don't know. Truly, I do fear it.
What say?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes up all the length of his arm as to drop me. Long stayed he so, and at last he let out a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go.
Have you given him any harsh words of late?
No, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That made him mad, I'm sorry. I feared he did but trifle and meant to wreck thee. Come, go into the cave. He must know of this.
Hamlet's strange behavior did not go unnoticed by his uncle, our king.
Nothing goes unnoticed by King Claudius.
The king and queen were disturbed to see Hamlet seemingly descend into despair, bordering on madness.
So, they did what all good parents do.
They hired his friends to spy on him. Lunch is on!
Lunch is on!
Welcome, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Something you have heard of Hamlet's transformation more than his father's death. I entreat you both to gather whether anything to us unknown afflicts him thus.
He hath much talked of you, and sure I am too, there not living with whom he more adheres. And should it please you to expend your time with us a while for the profit of our hope, then your visitation shall receive such thanks as befits a king's remembrance.
We both give ourselves to lay our service freely at your feet.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and Rosencrantz, and I beseech you to visit my too much changed son. Go and show them where Hamlet is.
I believe I found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our over-hasty marriage.
I'll be brief. Your son is mad.
Mad.
My daughter, in her duty and obedience, hath given me this. To my soul's idol, my most beautified Ophelia, in her excellent white bosom. Etc.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Doubt thou that the stars are fire, doubt thou that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love, oh dear Ophelia.
But how has she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so. But what might you think if I had seen this hot love on the wing? What might you think if I had looked upon this love with idle sights? What might you think? No, I went to work, and to my young mistress thus did I speak. Lord Hamlet is a prince. Out of thy star, this must not be. And that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens. This done, she took my advice, and he fell into a sadness, then into a fast, and then into a weakness, and into the madness wherein which now he raves, and we all mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be. Very likely.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter unto him. Be you and I behind an arras, then. Mark the encounter, whether he love her or not.
We shall try it.
Words.
What is the matter?
Between who?
I mean, the matter in which you read.
Says here that old men have gray beards, their faces have wrinkles, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit. All of which, sir, though I powerfully and potently believe, yet hold it not honest to thus sit down, For yourself, sir. To be as old as I am. It's like a crab you could go backward.
Though there is madness, there is method in it. Would you walk out of the air, my lord?
Oh, into my grave.
I most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I more willingly part withal. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare thee well.
These tedious old fools.
Ah, you go to seek Hamlet. There he is.
Ah, my excellent good friends. How does thou, Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz, what's the news?
None, but that the world's grown honest.
Oh, then is doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, good friends, deserted the hands of fortune that she sent you to prison?
Prison, my lord?
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
A good one, in which there are many dungeons. Denmark being the worst.
We think not so.
Why then, 'tis none to you, but there is nothing either good or bad. But thinking makes it so. To me it is a prison.
'Tis too narrow for your mind. Your ambition makes it one.
Well, what makes you an Elsinore?
To visit you. No other occasion.
Were you, not sent for? Come and deal justly with me. Speak.
What should we say?
You were sent for. You have a kind of confession in your looks which you haven't craft enough to color. I know the king and queen have sent for you. A piece of work is man. How noble in reason. Man delights me not. No, nor does woman neither. Though by your smiling you seem to say so.
There was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Then why'd you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what pleasure the players shall receive from you. We quoted them on our way, and hither they are coming to offer you service.
What shall be the players?
Even those you were wont to take such delight in, the tragedians of the city.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. You're welcome. Although my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived. I am at mad northwest, and when the wind blows suddenly, I know a hop from a handsaw.
I have news to tell you.
I'll leave you till night. You're welcome to Elsinore. Follow him. Now I am alone. What a rogue am I. Yet I can say nothing. Am I a coward? What an ass am I! That I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing. I've heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to their souls, which presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, that would have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll place something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I'll observe his looks. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil has power to assume a pleasing shape. Perhaps, out of my weakness, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds for a relative in this. Play's the thing in which I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Why he puts on this dangerous lunacy.
He does confess he feels distracted, but the cause of which he will by no means speak.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
It so fell out that certain players we overcaught on our way, of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear it.
'Tis most true. He did beseech me to entreat you to hear and see the process.
With all my heart, and it doth much incline me to him so incline. Give him a further edge, and drive his purpose to these delights.
We shall.
But, sweet Gertrude, leave us too. For we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, if it were by accident, will here affront Ophelia. Her father and myself will so bestow ourselves. Seeing unseen, we may of their encounter judge, whether be the affliction of his love or no, lest he suffers for.
I shall obey. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness, and so shall your virtues bring him to his way again, for both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Withdraw, my lord. Hamlet will come soon.
To be or not to be. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by to sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks of flesh is heir to, is a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, to sleep, perchance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office when he himself, by his quiet make, the bare bodkin, who would fardels bear, to grunt, sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, an undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with disregard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Softer now, fair Ophelia. Nymph in all thy orisons be my sins remembered.
How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
I have remembrances of yours that I have long longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
I never give you anything.
You know right well you did. And with them, words so sweet as made things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these now, for rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind.
Are you honest?
What?
Are you fair?
What means this?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty have a better commerce than with honesty?
I did love you once.
Indeed, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
Then I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself honest, yet I can accuse me of such things that were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than thoughts to put them in, or time to act them in. Should fellows as I do calling between heaven and earth, we are errant knaves, all, believe none of us. Close thy voice to a nunnery. Where is thy father?
At home.
Then let the door be shut upon him, so that he may play the fool in his own house. Farewell.
Hamlet.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thou this play for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Marry a fool! For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. Now quickly, to nunnery, go!
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him!
I've heard of your paintings well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourself another. You jig, you amble, you lisp, you nickname God's creatures. Go! I'm more to it, and make me mad! I say we shall have no more marriages. Those that are married already shall remain. The rest shall keep as they are. Go to a nunnery. Quickly!
Woe is me. To have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love. His affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. What think you on it?
I believe the origin of his grief sprung from neglected love. Do as you will, but after the play, let his mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let him be with her, and I'll be placed in the ear of their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him wherever your wisdom shall think.
It shall be so. Madness and great ones must not on watch go.
Thanks to Hamlet, Ophelia had a broken ankle.
Her career as a dancer was put on hold.
That night, a troupe of performers came to the mansion to provide entertainment for yet another party.
There were singers, dancers, a ventriloquist, even a magician. But one performance that evening especially stood out. A song, specially chosen by Hamlet. And the story in this song was a familiar one.
Hamlet believed that if his uncle Claudius...
King Claudius. Let's not be overly familiar.
Hamlet believed that if King Claudius had truly murdered his father, the king's guilt would be revealed in his reaction in Hamlet's choice of entertainment that night.
The play is the thing in which will catch the conscience of the king. That's the way.
And once Hamlet is sure that his uncle is guilty...
Let's just say Ophelia got off easy with broken ankle.
The king did his piece of work, and the queen too. There's a play tonight before the king. One of the scenes comes near the circumstance that I've told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, observe mine uncle. If his guilt itself do not kennel out in one foul speech, then as the damned goes what we've seen, and my imaginations are foul. I, mine eyes, rivet to his face, and after, we will both our judgments join. Here they come to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Ah, excellent.
You played once at university, you say?
That did I, and was accounted a good actor.
Oh, what did you enact?
Julius Caesar. I was killed at the Capitol. Well, Brutus killed me.
Beat the players ready?
Good stay upon your praises.
Oh, my dear Hamlet, come sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive. Shall I lie in your lap?
No.
I mean, my head upon your lap?
I
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, Hamlet.
It's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is?
Nothing.
You're married?
Who? I?
I.
What can a man do but be married? Look how cheerfully my mother looks. My father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months.
So long! Oh, heavens! Die 2 months and not yet forgotten? Then there's hope that a great king's memory may outlive his life half a year.
Father at the Hotel Paradise. This is what I told him as I gazed into his eyes. Ships are made for sinking, whiskey made for drinking. If we were made of cellophane, we'd all get stinking drunk much faster. Camptown ladies never sang all the doo-dah day. No, no, no. Camptown ladies never sang all the doo-dah day. No, no, no. ghost of Hamlet's father at the Hotel Paradise. This is what I told him as I gazed into his eyes. Rooms are made for carpets, towers made for spires, and ships are made for cannonade to fire from inside them.
Gone run all night, gone run all day.
Camptown ladies never sang "Oh, the Doodah Day." No, no, no.
Gone run all night, gone run all day.
Camptown ladies never sang "Oh, the Doodah Day." No, no, no.
What? Frightened? Give me some light! Away! Rachel, what think the ghosts were?
I did note him.
Want to talk of the poisoning?
I did note him very well.
A word.
A whole history
The king, your uncle.
of him.
Your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent us to you.
Oh, you're welcome.
If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon in my return shall be the end of my business.
I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. My wits deceased.
She says your behavior hath struck her into amazement.
Wonderful son, I can so astonish your mother.
She wishes to speak with you ere you go to bed.
We shall obey. Were she 10 times your mother. Have you any further trade with us?
What is the cause of your distemper?
I lack advancement.
How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Will you play upon this instrument?
I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
Why, 'tis as easy as lying. Govern these ventures with your fingers and thumbs and will discourse most eloquent music.
I have not the skill.
Why? Look how unworthy a thing you make of me. You'd play upon me. You seem to know my stops. You'd tell me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And this instrument has excellent voice, great music, and yet cannot you make it speak. Do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you may. You cannot play upon me. Ah, God bless you, sir.
The queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see a cloud yonder that looks in the shape of a camel?
'Tis most like a camel indeed.
Methinks it looks like a weasel. I'll come to my mother then, by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn, and hell itself breathes contagion to this very world. Now could I drink my blood, and do such bitter business that were quake the day to look upon. Not to my mother, I'll speak daggers to her, but use none.
I like him not, nor stands it safe to let his madness range.
He'll go to his mother. I'll convey myself to hear the process. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed. Tell you what I know.
Thanks. Oh, my offense is rank, it smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it. A brother's murder. Pray can I not? For what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I am still possessed by the effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned, and the rest take the offense.
Now might I do it. Now he's praying, and now I'll do it. And so I'm revenged. So he goes to heaven. And this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father gross, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown as flush as May. No. Up, sword. Now thou more horrid hent. When he is drunk in sleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasures of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or some other act that has no relish of salvation in it, then I'll trip him, so that his heels may kick to the heavens, and his soul may be damned and black as hell whereto it goes.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
Tell him his pranks have been broad to bear with, and that you've stood between much heat and him. I'll sconce me even here. Pray you be round with him.
Mother! Mother!
Withdraw.
Mother!
I hear him coming.
Now, Mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou was thy father much offended.
Oh, Mother, you have my father much offended.
Oh, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Hamlet!
What's the matter now?
Have you forgotten?
No. You're the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And, would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set you to those who can speak.
Sit you down! You shall not budge naturalist of a glass, or you be so ill part of us!
What will thou do? Thou wilt not murder me?
What? Help! How now? A rat?
What hast thou done?
I know not. Is it the king?
What a rat
bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king.
Aye, lady. 'Twas my word. The wretched, rash, intruding fool. Farewell. I took thee for thy better.
What have I done that thou wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
An act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes a rose from the fair forehead of innocent love, and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as Dycher's oaths.
What act?
Look here, upon this picture, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. Here is your husband. Now look, what follows. This is your husband. Like a mildewed ear, blasting at his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love. For at your age, the blood is tame and humble, and sits upon a judgment it waits by. And what judgment would come from this to this? Oh, shame, words, I blush.
Oh, Hamlet, speak to me no more. Thou turnest mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black spots.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an unseen bed, stewed in honey and corruption, honeying and love-making over the nastiest time.
Speak to me no more. Thy words like daggers entered mine ear. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain.
No more.
A king of treacherous practice.
Save me, and cover over me with your wings, you heavenly guards.
He's mad.
Do you not come, your tardy son, to chide that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the dread of your command?
This visitation is but to whet thy blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Step between her and her fighting soul. Speak to her, Hamlet. How is it with you, lady?
Hamlet, how is it with you?
My hour is almost come, my queen.
Hamlet.
Remember me.
Oh, speak to me no more.
My queen!
No more!
Look how pale it glares.
With whom do you speak this?
What? Do you see nothing there?
Nothing but ourselves.
Nor nothing did you hear?
Nothing but us.
Look how it steals away. My father, look where to it goes. This is not madness that I have uttered.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Then throw away the worst part of it, and live pure with the other half. Good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. And when your desire is to be blessed, a blessing beg of you. With the same Lord I do repent. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. One more word, lady.
What?
I'm not in madness, but mad in craft. I must to England, you know that?
I'd forgotten.
This man shall set me packing. I'll lug his guts to the neighbor room. Indeed, this counselor is now most still, most secret, most grave. Who was in life a foolish knave. Come, sir, to draw towards an end with you. Good night, mother. Where's your son?
What I have seen tonight.
Gertrude, how does Hamlet?
In a lawless fit, Hamlet hearing something stir, cries, a rat, and kills the unseen old man.
Oh, how may this bloody deed be answered? This mad young man, but so much was our love, we wouldn't understand what was most fit. Like the owner of a foul disease, we must keep it from divulging. Let it feed even on the piss of life. Where is he gone?
To draw breath the body he hath killed. He weeps for what is done.
We'll send thee hence, and this vile deed with all our majesty and skill excuse. Gilded stern! Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet he hath dragged him. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you hasten this. Come, Gertrude. We'll call up our wisest friends and tell them both what we mean to do and what is untimely done.
Hamlet! Hamlet!
Here they come.
What hast thou done with the dead body?
Safely stowed.
Tell us where it is, that we may take it to the chapel.
Don't believe it?
Believe what?
That I can keep your conscience and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge.
Take you me for a sponge?
Aye, it soaks up the king's rewards and authorities. But such officers as this do the king's best service in the end, and when he needs what he's gleaned, it is but squeezing you. And sponge, shall you be dry again?
I understand you not. Hamlet, you must come with us to the king and tell us where the body is.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. Come, take me to him.
I have sent to seek him out to find the body. Oh, how dangerous it is that we let this man go loose. How now? What hath befallen?
Where the body is bestowed, we cannot get from him.
Bring him before us.
Guildenstern!
Hamlet, where is Polonius?
At supper.
At supper where?
Not where he is eating, but where he is eaten. A certain connotation of politic worms are eating at him. Your worm is your emperor for diet. We fat our creatures to fat ourselves. We fat ourselves to fat maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar, but variable service. 2 dishes, but to 1 table. That's the answer.
What does you mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a fat king may go through the process of a guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. If your messenger do not find him there, then seek him in another place, yourself. But if you do not find him within a month, you shall smell him as you go upstairs to the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He'll stay till you come.
Hamlet, for thine sake, you must ship thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The ship is ready and everything is bent for England.
For England.
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it. Thou only knew on purpose.
But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
Mother. Mother and father is man and wife. Man and wife are but one flesh. And so, my mother. Come, for England!
Follow him! I'll have him hence tonight. Everything is sealed and done. Pray you haste. And England, thou mayest not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports it full by letters congruing to the effect of the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England. For in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know, 'tis done.
So Hamlet was sent to England. For his own good, of course.
We thought it was kind of King Claudius to protect the troubled young man from facing a murder rap.
We didn't know of the letters carried by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Even they didn't know what was in the letters.
I'm sure they can guess. They weren't stupid.
Claudius had written a letter to the King of England, asking him to quietly execute Hamlet upon his arrival in London.
King Claudius thought this would solve all his problems.
But there were still a few loose ends at Elsinore.
Namely, the children of Polonius, Laertes and Ophelia.
Ophelia and Laertes.
I will not speak with her.
Her mood needs to be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much for her father, says she hears that there's tricks in the world.
'Twere good she had spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures and ill-breeding mind.
Let her come in.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
Ophelia was a rebel girl, blue stocking suffragette,
What imports this song?
who remedied society between her cigarettes.
Ophelia?
Ophelia was a sweetheart to a nation overnight. Courageous thighs, vivacious thighs. Love was at first sight.
How do you, pretty lady?
Let us have no words of this. When they ask you what it means, tell them this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes, and let in the maid, that out a maid never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
He promised me to wed. So would I have done by yonder sun if thou had not come into my bed.
How long has she been this?
All will be well. We must be patient, but I cannot choose to weep. Think that they should lay him in the cold hard ground. My brother shall know of this. And so I thank you all for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night, good ladies. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close, I pray you. This is the poison of deep grief. It springs from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not in single spies, but in battalions. First her father slain, next your son gone. The people unwholesome in their whispers of good Polonius' death. Poor Ophelia was divided from her fair judgment and herself. And last, as much containing to all of these, her brother is in secret come from France. Oh, my dear Gertrude.
What noise is this?
What's the matter?
Save yourself! Young Laertes in a rider's head overbears your officers. The rabble call him lord. They cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Laertes shall be king. Laertes, king.
How cheerfully in a false trail they cry.
The doors are broke!
Where is the king? Give me my father!
Calmly, good Laertes.
What is thy cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude, do not fear it. Tell me, Laertes, why art thou thus incensed? Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
me dead, I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Who shall stay you?
Not all the world.
Laertes, I am most guiltless in your father's death, and I'm most sensible in grief for it.
Oh no, what noise is that?
Da-da-da, da-da-da. There you live, my dove. There's rosemary, that's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. Here's some pansies, that's for thoughts.
A documented madness.
There's columbine and fennel. There's rue for you. Oh, you must wear your rue with indifference. Oh, and here's a daisy. I'd give you some violets, but they all withered when my father died. They say he made a good end. But will he come again? No. No, he's dead. Go to that deathbed. He will never come again.
Do you see this? Oh, God.
Laertes, please give your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it its due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment over his bones, no noble right. I must call it in question.
But so you shall. And where the offense, the great axe falls, I pray you come with me.
Who are they that would speak with me?
Sailors, they say they have letters for you.
Let them come in. I don't know from what part of the world I am to be greeted, if not from Hamlet.
There's a letter for you, sir. It comes from the ambassador that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio.
Horatio, give this fellow some means to the king. He has letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor. And in the grapple I boarded them, and on the instant they made clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Give the king these letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak, and thine ear will make thee dumb. Yet are they too light for the bore of the matter. These good fellows will bring me where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell, Hamlet. Come, I'll make you wait for these your letters. Do it the speedier, that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
You must put me in your heart for friend. He which hath your father slain pursued my life.
It well appears. But tell me, why you proceeded not against these feats?
For two special reasons. The queen, his mother, looks almost by his looks, and she's so conjunctive to my life and soul that As the star moves not but in his sphere, I cannot by her. The other motive being the love that general gender bear him.
And so have I. A noble father lost, a sister driven to desperate terms, but my revenge will come.
What news?
Letters from Hamlet. This to you, and this to the Queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, they say. I saw them not. They were given to me by Horatio.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know that I am set naked upon your kingdom. Tomorrow I shall beg to see your kingly eyes when I recount the occasion of my sudden and strange return, Hamlet. What should this mean, or all the rest come back?
Let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart.
If it be so, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye.
If he be returned, I will work him to an exploit which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death no wind of blame shall breathe. Even his mother shall call it accident. Laertes, was your father dear to you?
Why ask you this?
Not that I think you didn't love your father, but to the quick Hamlet comes back, what should you undertake? Show yourself your father's son, indeed more than words.
To cut his throat in church.
No. Revenge should have no bounds. But good Laertes, keep within your chamber. Hamlet returned, shall know you are come home. And we shall put on those that praise your excellence, and set a double varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you. Bring you in fine together, and put a wager on your heads. He, being remiss, most generous and contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease or little shuffling you may choose a sword unbaited, and in passive practice requite him or your father.
I'll do it. And for that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank, so mortal, but that dip a knife in it where it draws blood, none can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, so that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think on this. With what convenience both time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, or our drift look through our bad performance, twere better not essay. Therefore this project shall have a back or second that might hold if this should blast and prove. Let me see. Put a wager on your cunnings. I have it. When in your motion you are hot and dry, and he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice, whereupon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom, our purpose may hold there. How now, sweet queen?
One woe doth tread upon another's heel. So fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
She's drowned?
Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia. And therefore I forbid my tears!
How much I've tried to calm his rage! Come, this will give it start again. Let's follow.
doesn't hurt me. You wanna feel how it feels. Do you know that it doesn't hurt me? Do you wanna hear about the deal we're making? It's you and me. It's you and me. If I only could make a deal with God and get him to swap our places, be running up that road, be running up that hill with no problem. If I only could. Don't wanna hurt me. See how deep the bullet lies, unaware I'm tearing you asunder. There is thunder in our hearts. Is there so much hate for the ones we love? Tell me we both matter, don't we? It's you. It's you and me. It's you and me. We'll be unhappy. If I only could make a deal with God and get him to swap our places, be running up that road, be running up that hill, no problem.
That was awesome.
If I only could.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is.
How can that be? Unless you drown herself in her own defense.
Why, 'tis found so.
Ugh, give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. The man go to this water and drown himself. It is. But if the water comes to the man and drown him, he drowns not himself.
Will you have the truth of it? Had this not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Fetch me a stupid liver.
Does this man have no feeling of his business? That he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made him a property of easiness.
Let's go out of tongue and it could sing once. Look how the errant knave jowled to the ground, as if it were Cain's jawbone that did the first murder.
Screaming for their lives.
There's another. Why may not that be the skull of the lawyer? Where be his cases, his tenures, his tricks? Why does he allow this rude knave to sconce him about with a dirty shovel and not tell him of his action of battery? I'll speak to this fellow. Whose grave is this?
Mine, sir.
For what man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
For what woman, then?
For none neither.
Who's to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How long must man lie in the earth there you brought?
Ah, well, here is a skull now. This lived in the earth 320 years.
Yeah, whose was it?
Yours, King's Jester.
This?
Yeah, he was not.
Let me see. Alas, Lord Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Fellow most infinite jest, excellent fancy. He bore me on his back 1,000 times. Bore to my imagination it is. Here hung those lips that I've kissed I know not of. Where be your jibes now? Your songs, your gambols, your flashes of merriment that were one to set the table aroar, not one to mock at your own grinning? I prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
And what's that?
Dost thou think Alexander the Great should look at this fashion on the earth?
Even so.
Smelled so.
Even so, my lord.
To what base uses may be returned? Why may not imagination follow the noble dust of Alexander till they find it stopping a bungle?
Were to consider it too curiously, to consider so.
No, faith. Not a jot. But to follow thither with modesty enough and likelihood to lead it. As thus, Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returned into dust. Dust is earth. And of earth we make loam, and why of that loam whereto it is converted, why he not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead, and returneth into clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth which kept the world in such an awe should patch a hole to expel the winter flaw. But soft aside. Here comes the king. Queen? Courtiers? Who's this they follow? It's Laertes.
What ceremony else? The death was doubtful. And but that great command oversways the order she should, in ground unsanctified, have lodged till the last trumpet. Must there no more be done? No more be done. Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violent spring.
What? Fair Ophelia!
Sweet, sweet. Farewell. I hoped thou wouldst have been my Hamlet's wife.
Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms.
What is he whose being bears such an emphasis? This is our Hamlet!
The devil take thy soul!
Take thy hands off my throat! Pluck them asunder!
Hamlet! Hamlet!
I will fight him on this theme until my eyelids no longer wag!
What theme?
I loved Ophelia! 40,000 brothers could not make up the sum. What would thou do for her?
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
Let God forbear him.
Show me what thou wilt do. Weep, fight, fast, tear thyself, eat a crocodile. Dost thou come here to whine, to outface me by jumping in her grave? Be dead with her quick, and so will I. Why do you use me thus? I loved you ever. But that is no more. The cat will mew. The dog will have its day.
Horatio, follow him! Take patience in our last night's speech. And Gertrude, put some watch over your son.
So much for this, sir. Now, I'll show you the other. Do you remember the circumstance?
Remember it?
My uncle's letter to England, carried by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Up from my cabin in the dark, groped I to find them. Withheld, withdrew into my own room. My fears forgetting manners to unseal their commission, where I found Horatio, an exact command that my head should be struck off.
Is it possible your uncle wrote this?
Here's a commission. Read it more at your leisure. But wilt thou hear how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
Sat down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair. Wilt thou hear what I wrote?
I?
That the King of England should put the bearers to sudden death.
So, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern go to death.
They made love to this employment. They're not near my conscience. Their defeat does by their own insinuation grow.
It must be surely known to him from England what is the business there.
We'll be short. The interim is mine.
Peace. Who comes here?
Welcome back to Denmark.
Thank you, sir.
My lord, His Majesty hath laid a great wager upon your head. Sir, this is the matter. Sir, newly has come to court Laertes.
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes?
Of him, sir.
I know you are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
What should be his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
Those are two of his weapons.
The king, sir, hath wagered that within a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits, and it would come to immediate trial if you would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Let the foals be brought, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him and I can. If I cannot, I'll lose nothing but shame in the odd hits.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I don't think so. Since he's been in France, I've been in continual practice. Shall win.
Hamlet, come. Come, take this hand from me.
I've hurt you, but pardon it. For you're a gentleman. I've shot my arrow over the house and hurt mine own brother.
I am satisfied in nature, but in my terms of honor, I stand aloof and will no reconcilement.
Bring us the foils. Come on.
Come, one for me.
Let me be your foil, Laertes. In mine own ignorance, your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, slick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No.
Give them the foils, young Marcellus. Hamlet, you know the wager?
You have laid the odds on the weaker side.
No, I do not fear it. I have seen you both.
This is too light. Let me see another.
This likes me well.
Set the stoops of wine upon the table. If Hamlet shall get first or second hit, or quit and answer the third exchange, the king shall drink in Hamlet's better breath. And in the cup he shall throw a pearl richer than all the kings of Denmark have worn. Give me the cups. Come, begin.
Come, sir. Come, my lord.
One! No! Judgment!
I hit. A very palpable hit.
Well, again!
But stay! Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come. Again. Another hit! What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
He's fat and scant of breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin and rub thy brow. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Gertrude, do not drink!
Oh, I will. I pray you pardon me.
'Tis the poison cup. It is too late.
I'll hit him now. And yet 'tis almost against my conscience.
Come. For the third.
I am justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the queen? She swoons to see them bleed.
No, it is a drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet, it is a drink. I'm poisoned.
Villain! Lock the doors! Treachery, sing it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee, there is not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand. My mother is poisoned, and I can no more. The king sublime!
The poison! Is that true? I am poisoned to thy word! Those jesters, murderers, damn day! Drink off this potion! Follow my mother!
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's deaths come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I'll follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. Wretched queen, adieu. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my causes a right to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
Okay, give me the cup. Let go of my habit, oh habit. Things standing thus unknown shall stand behind me. If thou ever didst hold me in thy heart, draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. I die, Horatio. Potent poison corrodes my spirit. The rest is silence.
Good night, sweet prince. And flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Silencio.
The sun and the air of